Lately, the internet went crazy about OpenClaw, and you've probably noticed that a lot of people started buying Mac minis, mainly because you can easily run local AI models on the neural engine in Apple Silicon chips, which is okay if you just want to experiment locally, but is completely unnecessary. What if I told you there's a much better way to run OpenClaw, and that for just a fraction of the price of a Mac mini, you can get your own virtual private server and run it in the cloud without worrying about hardware, location, or uptime? We're going to start the setup in just a second, but before that, let's look at what actually makes OpenClaw different, because with new AI tools launching every week, the obvious question is why this one stands out. To keep things simple, let's start with a basic example and ask ChatGPT to do something practical, like cleaning up disk space. What you get back are just commands that you still have to copy and run manually. It's also just guessing that my operating system is Linux based on the previous conversation, so this might be correct or it might not. Now let's ask OpenClaw the exact same thing. Because it runs inside the system, inspects the current state, and performs the cleanup directly with no other actions. And this is just an example, because depending on what data and access you give it, it can become very powerful, which is the reason why some people say it can be a security threat. Like any powerful tool, if you give it to a child, it can create chaos. And that's exactly why we want to run this on a VPS, so it can operate 24/7 in a safe, isolated environment. For this setup, we'll be using Hostinger, who is also the sponsor of today's video. I've been using their services for years, and they specialize in offering reliable VPS instances at very affordable prices. Click the link in the description and choose the KVM2 plan for this setup, which is powerful enough to run OpenClaw and still leaves you plenty of room to run other applications if you want. Now, you can choose the billing period, and to get the best price, I recommend going with 24 months or at least 12 months. The final price may vary depending on your location and the taxes applied in that region, but to get an extra 10% off, make sure to use the coupon code SOFTSWEP before checkout. Then click Continue, fill in your billing details, and complete the payment. Now on the home page, you'll see a Your To-Dos section with the new VPS ready for setup. And by the way, if you went with the 12 or 24-month plan, you'll also get a free .cloud domain, but we won't be using that right now. Go ahead and click on Setup and choose a server location. It's generally a good idea to pick the one closest to you for the fastest response times, so in my case, I'll go with France. That said, in most scenarios, you probably won't notice a significant difference if you choose a location based on preference rather than distance. For the operating system, choose Ubuntu and make sure to select a version that has LTS at the end, which stands for long-term support. This is the version that receives regular updates and security patches for a long period of time, making it the safest and most stable choice. Next, create a strong root password, and optionally add an SSH key, which you don't have to do it right now because it can be added later very easily. When it comes to the additional features, you definitely want to keep your VPS safe and secure, so make sure the malware scanner option is enabled. Also check the Docker Manager. If you're not familiar with Docker, it's essentially a system that allows you to run applications inside isolated containers. This means you can run multiple apps on the same server without them interfering with each other, which is exactly what we want here. Once you click on Finish Setup, it will take around 3 minutes to complete. Under the hood, Hostinger handles everything from installing the Ubuntu operating system to setting up all the additional packages and dependencies, so you can just sit back for a few minutes and wait for the magic to happen. After the setup is complete, click on Manage VPS. On the overview page, the system will start collecting data almost immediately, and you'll see it show up here. You get a quick overview of CPU usage, memory consumption, disk usage, and network traffic, so at a glance you can tell how your server is performing and whether everything is running normally. Click on Docker Manager, select Catalog, search for OpenClaw, and then click Deploy. The first thing you'll need to do is copy the generated OpenClaw gateway token. This token is essentially the password for the entire application, so make sure you copy it and store it somewhere secure. Below that, you'll need to choose an agent provider and enter the corresponding API key. In my case, I'm going to use Anthropic, so I'll go to platform.claude.com, create a new API key, and then paste it here. As an additional security feature, you also need to provide your WhatsApp number. This allows your OpenClaw instance to verify that commands are only accepted if they come from your number, so nobody else can send it instructions. Click on Deploy and wait for the process to finish. It usually takes about 1 to 2 minutes. Once the installation is finished, click on Ports, and here you'll need to paste the gateway token, then press Login and you'll be taken to the chat interface. To quickly check that everything is working, let's type something simple like hello. And as you can see, it responds right away, so the assistant is up and running. The first message is basically OpenClaw telling you it just came online and asking you to pick a name for it, and also how it should refer to you. You can choose literally anything you want here. And once you do, this information is stored in memory and carried across all future chats, so it stays persistent over time unless you want to change it. The next step is to configure the WhatsApp integration, so go to Channels under the Control tab. If you scroll down, you should see the phone number you entered during the setup. But what we need to do is to scroll up again and click on Show QR, and then on your phone, open WhatsApp, go to Settings, tap Linked Devices, and choose Link a Device. This will open your phone's camera, and you should scan the QR code displayed on the desktop. After that, wait a few moments for the devices to sync. Once the sync is complete, go back to the web interface and click on Wait for Scan. Most likely, you'll see an error the first time. But don't worry, that's normal when adding a new device. All you need to do is close the page and open it again. Once that's done, grab your phone and send a message to yourself using your own WhatsApp number, just to make sure everything is working. As you can see, the message shows up in the chat and OpenClaw responds to it as well, so communication is working in both directions. At this point, the OpenClaw setup is complete, the WhatsApp integration is in place, and everything is ready to be used. Thanks to Hostinger's container manager, the whole process was as straightforward as possible. Now we can start looking at some real examples of how you can actually use this. These are things I've been using OpenClaw for myself lately. Most of us already have servers running somewhere. VPS instances, databases, backups, maybe a few containers doing different jobs. And usually, when something goes wrong, the workflow looks like this. You get an alert, you SSH into the server, start checking logs, disk space, memory usage, and you manually piece together what's happening. With OpenClaw, this entire flow can change. Instead of reacting after something breaks, OpenClaw can continuously monitor the system it's running on. It can check disk usage, memory pressure, CPU load, failed services, and log anomalies on a schedule or based on triggers you define. For example, if disk usage suddenly spikes, OpenClaw doesn't just notify you that something is wrong. It can investigate why. It can identify which directories are growing, check whether logs are rotating correctly, clean up temporary files, and then report back with a clear summary of what happened and what it did. You could receive a message saying something like, disk usage increased by 12% over the last hour. Most of it came from application logs, old log files were cleaned up, and the system is back to normal. The key difference here is that OpenClaw isn't just monitoring, it's operating inside the system with context, memory, and permission to act. Over time, it also remembers patterns. It can recognize that a specific container tends to fill disk space every few days, or that memory spikes usually happen after a certain job runs. That kind of contextual awareness is extremely difficult to achieve with traditional monitoring tools unless you invest a lot of time configuring them. This turns OpenClaw into something like a personal infrastructure assistant that's always on, always watching, and able to handle small issues automatically, so you only get involved when something truly matters. Another powerful use case is using OpenClaw as a private research assistant that works with your own data, not just public information. Imagine you're working on a long-term project. maybe technical documentation, market research, or even learning a new domain. Over time, you accumulate notes, PDFs, markdown files, links, drafts, and half-finished ideas scattered across folders. With OpenClaw running on your server, you can give it access to a specific directory that contains your research material. From that point on, it doesn't just answer generic questions. It answers questions based on your knowledge base. You could ask things like, summarize what I've learned so far about this topic, find contradictions between these documents, or remind me what conclusions I reached last month about a specific problem. Because OpenClaw has persistent memory, it can also remember your preferences. It learns how detailed you like explanations, what level of technical depth you expect, and which sources you trust more. This becomes especially powerful over time. Instead of starting from zero every time you revisit a topic, OpenClaw already has context. It knows where you left off, what decisions you made, and what still needs to be explored. And because everything runs on your own server, your nodes, documents, and ideas never leave your infrastructure. There's no need to upload sensitive material to external platforms or worry about data retention policies. This turns OpenClaw into something closer to a private, long-term thinking partner rather than a question-answering tool. If you're running a small business or just a side project, there are a lot of repetitive operational tasks that slowly consume your time. Things like checking whether services are up, verifying backups, reviewing error logs, responding to simple support requests, or preparing daily summaries. OpenClaw can sit in the middle of all of these. For example, every morning it could generate a status report that includes system health, recent errors, backup status, and anything unusual that happened overnight. Instead of logging into multiple dashboards, you get one concise message. It can also act as a first-line support assistant. If a user reports an issue, OpenClaw can check logs, verify whether the issue is already known, gather relevant system information, and present you with a structured report before you even look at the problem. For solo builders, this is huge. It reduces context switching and mental overhead. You spend less time checking systems and more time actually building. Because OpenClaw understands the environment it runs in, it can adapt its actions based on real conditions. If a service is under heavy load, it might postpone non-critical jobs. If resources are idle, it can run maintenance tasks automatically. This is the kind of operational automation that usually requires multiple tools and a lot of glue code. With OpenClaw, it can live in one place, with memory, context, and direct system access. The final example ties everything together. Most AI assistants today are session-based. You open a chat, you ask questions, and when the session ends, most of the context is gone. You're starting over every time. OpenClaw is different because it's always running. You can interact with it through channels like WhatsApp, and it will remember previous conversations, decisions, preferences, and ongoing tasks. You can tell it to remind you about something next week, track a long-term goal, or continue a task you started days ago. Because it's running on a VPS, it doesn't depend on your laptop being online. It doesn't matter where you are or what device you're using. The agent is always available. At the same time, it's isolated and secured. It only accepts commands from approved channels and approved users. It runs in a controlled environment with limited exposure to the outside world. This combination is important. You get the convenience of an always-on assistant, but without giving up control or security. Over time, this becomes less like a tool and more like an extension of your workflow. Something that quietly handles background tasks, remembers context, and helps you stay focused on higher level work. And that's really the core idea behind OpenClaw. Not replacing you, not pretending to be magic, but acting as a reliable, controllable agent that works with you inside your own infrastructure. So before we wrap up, it's really important to talk about something that's been in the news lately, and that's the security side of running something like OpenClaw. This project hasn't been quietly growing in popularity. It literally exploded, going from a weekend project to one of the fastest growing open source AI tools in history, racking up well over 100,000 stars on GitHub in just a few weeks, something very few projects ever achieve. But with that rapid growth has come a lot of scrutiny from security experts and a few real wake-up calls about what it means to deploy something powerful like this. Because unlike a normal chatbot or simple script, OpenClaw is designed to execute actions and run code on the system where it's hosted. It can read and write files, execute shell commands, and interact directly with data on the device. That's what makes it powerful, but that's also what can make it dangerous if it's not used carefully. In fact, researchers have already documented hundreds of cases where OpenClaw instances were exposed to the internet without proper authentication, leaking API keys, bot tokens, even credentials and chat history because they were reachable by anyone. There have also been reports of community skills posted to public repositories that acted more like malware than helpful extensions, tricking users into running harmful commands that could steal data or compromise systems. This is not to scare you, but to highlight the real-world consequences of running autonomous agents that have direct access to your environment. Anyone can write a skill or extension, and if that code runs with the agent's privileges, it has the same access as the agent itself, meaning it can walk right into your files, your credentials, or your network if you let it. Why does this matter for you? Because it shows that when you decide to run something like OpenClaw, you need to be intentional about how you do it. You don't want it on a ticket-exploded laptop or a machine that holds your personal data and everything you care about. That's exactly where a VPS makes so much sense. When you run OpenClaw on a VPS, isolated from sensitive systems and configured behind secure networking, you can control exactly what it has access to, restrict the surrounding environment, manage backups, and monitor traffic. Combined with things like firewalls, SSH key access instead of passwords, and the right VPN rules, a VPS gives you a much safer foundation than letting the agent live on your personal laptop or a shared network. And one more point about security. Always start with the official image from a trusted source. In our case, using the Hostinger provided Docker image we deployed earlier in the video. That way, you avoid accidental forks, unofficial builds, or random community builds that might have hidden code or unintended behavior baked in. Official images are maintained, updated, and can be audited. That adds another layer of safety right from the start. So to sum up, OpenClaw is an incredibly exciting evolution in what AI agents can do. True automation, real context, long-term memory, and deep system integration. And the fact that it's risen so fast shows that developers and builders see huge value in this model. But it also shows that we need to take responsibility for how we deploy and use these tools. Understand the permissions you grant, lock down your endpoints, isolate the environment, and don't expose control panels or tokens carelessly. If you do that, you get all the benefits while minimizing the risks. That's why running OpenClaw on a VPS, isolated, secure, monitored, is not just a convenience, it's a best practice. Thanks for watching and see you next time.